Hi there and welcome to DocTalk. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson. I'm glad that you joined us today on the show. Our special guest is going to be Dr. Hank Harris, who's the President and CEO of Harris Vaccines. We're going to talk about some of the issues that Harris Vaccines is patenting and some of the things that they're helping control on swine farms, cattle farms, and many other food animals that are used to supply food to people here in this country and beyond. Thanks for joining us here on the show, and we'll be back in a minute. Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
This segment is brought to you by Norbrook Laboratories, manufacturers of Enroflox 100, the newest addition to your arsenal for treating bovine and swine respiratory disease.
Well, Dr. Harris, welcome to the show.
You bet. Yeah, good to be here, Dan.
Well, it's great to have you here. Folks, this is Dr. Hank Harris. He's the President and CEO of Harris Vaccines, and he has a dual role, too. He's been an educator for many years of his career at Iowa State College of Veterinary Medicine and the Department of Animal Science, and
right.
He's a professor in both colleges, and
That's
so
right.
Pretty busy.
Yeah, have been so. You bet.
So we're here at Harris Vaccines, and it's a pleasure to be here at the shop, and I can only imagine the amount of pride that one takes in their life's work, and it culminates in a business like this. But can you give us a little bit of background in Harris Vaccines?
You bet. And I might ought to mention at the beginning, this is actually the second company that I've started. I worked with Jan Scheidemann and Mike Daniels in the 80s to start Noble Labs, and that was eventually sold to Boehringer Ingelheim, which is, they still have an ongoing business in this country.
Very thriving business.
But Harris Vaccines was started in 2005, and mainly to work on the PRRS virus vaccine. And it's been quite a long time, but finally in 2012 we were able to get a facility license from the USDA as well as a license for an influenza vaccine. So we're really pleased with the progress we've made and so forth. And
maybe we describe, there are some of the different diseases out there, but what are some of the things, just kind of in an overarching or 30,000 foot view, that makes your vaccines different as far as the technology?
Well, the big thing is that we don't use live organisms to make the vaccine like traditional vaccines. So all we need is a gene from the infectious agent, and we place that in our platform to make our vaccine. And that was one reason that it took us a little bit longer to get approval from the USDA, and that there's no other vaccines on the market like that for large animals.
Right. So some of the advantages of that has to be the speed in which you can
absolutely
develop the vaccine.
That's right. We can now we have it with the modern genomic sequencing and synthesis that is available now. From the time we get a gene sequence from the diagnostic lab, we can make a vaccine in 4 to 6 weeks and have it back to the farmer, and it'll be vaccine specific for that farm.
So sort of like a autogenous.
Right. Yeah. Basically,
the disease came from that farm.
Yeah.
You can do the gene sequencing of the organism that was causing their disease.
Right.
And then have a custom vaccine for them.
Exactly, and that applies to some of the RNA viruses that are mutating rapidly. Now it's interesting, the PED virus that was just introduced in the United States in April, that's a little bit different approach that we have with that one.
Well, let's take a break, And when we come back, we'll talk about that different approach, but sure glad to have you on the show.
Oh, you bet. Glad to be here.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Dan.
for watching Doc Talk. More with Dr. Hank Harris here after the break.
This segment was brought to you by Brute Cattle Equipment, makers of the Brute Stealth Hydraulic Chute. If the chute fits, swear by it. Visit our website for more information.
Working your cattle just got easier. Introducing the new Vet Gun delivery system, a new way to apply topical insecticides to your cattle. The Vet Gun lets you remotely treat cattle with effective parasite control, so you can do it from an ATV, on horseback, or just walking among the herd. It's that simple. The proven topical insecticide AML Vet Cap is used with the Vet Gun. It works fast to control horn flies and lice while minimizing stress on your cattle. Fast, easy, effective. Vet Gun. Check with your animal health supplier for availability.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Got cattle? Rotomix manufactures a complete line of energy-efficient rotary and vertical feed mixers for feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations. Our mixers are available with the patented Generation 2 staggered rotor, the industry standard for feeding wet rations that include wet distiller's grain. Made in the USA, Rotomix mixers are designed for feeding performance that American cattlemen and dairy producers have come to expect. Rotomix, proud to offer a better mix in less time using less fuel.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie Rodina.
And I'm Dawn Dawson with the Better Horses Radio Show.
For over 9 years, we've been bringing the Better Horses Radio Show to markets all across the Midwest. We talk about God, lots about horses.
We talk about cows, we talk about horse health, we talk to top trainers, and we even talk about Roy Rogers.
We're having a blast with Better Horses Radio Show and would love to take it to a market near you.
So visit our website at betterhorsesradio.com and let us or your local radio station know you'd like to hear it in your area.
The Better Horses Radio Show is unbelievable.
You know, I think people are just kind of born with a passion.
I wouldn't be where I am today without that horse.
Oh, I'm not passionate about horses. That's just something that's in here. I can't explain it.
Some people go to a job every day. I just go do what I love to do. That's all I know is horse.
The bottom line, we're for the horse. It's whatever we can do to make life better for the horse, wherever they are, whatever they do.
They're just magic, that's all. They got me.
If we always do what's right for the horse, we will never go wrong.
This segment is brought to you by Rotomix, manufactured in the USA and designed for feeding performance in the feedlots, beef production, dairy, and cow-calf operations. Hey folks, welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Hank Harris, who's a veterinarian and president and CEO of Harris Vaccines and a professor in the College of Agriculture and College of Veterinary Medicine at Iowa State University. And we're here in Ames. Been working some with Iowa State on some different shows and being able to highlight Dr. Harris and his company is something that's special to me. He's had a relationship with our family for many years and is classmates with my dad in veterinary school.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
and John's helping us out in the company now, right?
That's great. So we're going to talk about PED and how you have a little bit of different approach to that disease. So let's start out though, because people I don't think all know what PED actually is.
Yeah, PED is porcine epidemic diarrhea, and it's caused by a coronavirus that's actually related to the SARS virus that was so serious in China a few years ago. And what it does is when it enters a susceptible herd, it will kill almost all the suckling pigs for about a 4 or 5 week period. So it's a very devastating disease, and they die of dehydration, diarrhea and dehydration.
So you have developed technology now,
right?
as a vaccine to prevent this from happening.
That's right. Our vaccine technology, which has now been approved by the USDA, only requires a gene from the virus to actually, we put that gene in our platform, and that results in a vaccine. And with this particular virus, which only came in the United States in April 2013, we simply took the gene sequence off of the internet that had been published by the Chinese. We knew that the virus came from China, so all we needed was a sequence for what's called the spike gene, and we put that in the vaccine, and we were able to begin selling a vaccine in August of 2013. Which
isn't it amazing? I mean, who would have thought that you could take the gene code off the internet and develop a vaccine for something that's been as devastating as disease, and how quickly it all, it's almost like a wildfire, the way that how contagious it is.
Yeah. I think that with all the new genomic synthesis, sequencing information and approaches that are out there, it turns out that these techniques have been available for vaccine manufacturing for some time, but all this new work on genomics is allowing this to move very quickly now. And I must say that the USDA has been really helpful in facilitating regulatory approval of our processes as well.
Well, and I think that's something for people to understand, that USDA regulates vaccines and FDA regulates our antibiotics and our drugs.
That's right. And FDA actually regulates human vaccines as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And any of those that have. Well, we're going to take another break. And when we come back, we'll learn a little bit more about Harris Vaccines and some of the projects y'all have going on.
Okay, sounds
Thanks
good.
for being here today.
You bet.
After the break, more with Dr. Hank Harris. Thanks for joining us.
This Meet the Veterinarian is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the science of healthier animals. Dr. Max Ersick is a beef cattle extension veterinarian at the University of Florida and brings a wealth of experience in feeding cattle and managing cow-calf herds to this position. He is passionate about agriculture and also enjoys helping both large and small ag businesses improve the performance of their operations through his consulting firm, Two Mule Cattle Company.
As dependable as the sunrise, in dairy parlors, open pastures, on ranches and feed yards across America. A place where reputation is more than a name, where the science of healthier animals is a way of life. It's the responsibility that drives who we are and what we do. Every decision, every day. It's your livelihood and our responsibility.
This hog is head-over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine is a leader in food animal research and education. Our researchers are constantly expanding the knowledge of animal health and food safety. Through the Veterinary Health Center and the Kansas State Veterinary Diagnostic Lab, we provide practical services for animal producers. Home of the Beef Cattle Institute, the college is committed to animal welfare training and research. The Kansas State University College of Veterinary Medicine, knowledge and service for the future of animal production. Hi there folks, Dr. Dan from DocTalk. Be sure to join me next week as we're going to talk about urea toxicity in cows. Be sure to join me here every Monday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on RFD TV, and I'll see you down the road.
TrueTest Group, weighing systems, electronic identification, EID, electric fencing, and dairy automation systems help farmers and ranchers around the world manage the performance of their livestock for ultimate profitability.
Hi there and welcome back to Doc Talk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with Dr. Hank Harris, who's the president and CEO of Harris Vaccines and also a professor at Iowa State University. And we're talking about PED and kind of put it into perspective, you know, when you make a solution like what y'all have done, probably a lot of people wanting to get access to your technology.
Oh yeah, we've had a lot of interest in PED vaccine, but we've sold now close to 1 million doses in the United States.
Wow!
And it looks as though we'll be sending a lot of vaccine up to Canada now because the Canadian government has just approved for an emergency importation of our vaccine into Canada.
Well, and it was mentioned, during the break that there are already 4 facilities in Canada that are experiencing this issue.
Yeah, there's 4 in Canada, and if it's anything like what happened in the United States, the virus was introduced in April, and now it's been reported to occur in, I think, 22 states.
Wow.
And so there's little doubt that it's going to spread in a similar manner in Canada.
Very virulent.
Yeah. And I've been on the phone today with people from Western Canada, Quebec, and really a lot of concern about it because it's a really devastating disease. It basically will kill all the suckling pigs for a 4 or 5 week period.
Oh my goodness. So, the one thing that as my visits, whether it's with the diagnostic laboratories or visiting with you, as this technology improves, the time of response of being able to find a way to, it's almost as fast as the animal can produce an immune response itself.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Well, the diagnostic labs, as you know, responded just extremely rapidly as far as developing means of diagnosing it. And both here at Iowa State and the other labs in South Dakota and University of Minnesota have really worked hard to assist the producer in knowing when they have the disease and when they should be trying to do something about it. And of course, that's the next line of defense then is to get a vaccine that we've developed that to really help prevent the disease.
Right. And now you have technology or have licenses to develop vaccines, we call them autogenous vaccines, against other diarrheal diseases such as rotavirus, that you can make specific vaccines for the farm.
Right. Yeah. We make vaccines for rotavirus and influenza, PRRS virus, and in those situations we take the gene from the farm and sequence it, and then we compare that gene sequence to our database. And if it's not 100% matched, then we make a 100% match farm gene vaccine for specifically for the farm on an autogenous basis. And we can get that back to the farm in 4 to 6 weeks. So,
it's amazing to me the way that technology has changed and allowed us to protect the food supply, and you have a lot to be proud of.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back for our final segment, but it's always a joy to see you, and it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, pleasure to do this.
Thank you for watching DocTalk. We'll be back in a minute. Hi there, folks. Dr. Dan from DocTalk. Be sure to join me next week as my guest will be Dr. Steve Inslee, who is a veterinary toxicologist from Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine. We're going to talk about urea toxicity in cow herds, whether we're talking about how to prevent it, how to treat it, or the clinical signs and what you're going to see. Be sure to join me here every Monday afternoon at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on RFD TV, and I'll see you down the road.
Beef producers asked for it, and Norbrook delivers. Introducing new Enroflox 100, the newest addition to your arsenal for treating bovine respiratory disease. Enroflox 100 is an FDA-approved, ready-to-use injectable antimicrobial solution to treat BRD associated with Mannheimia hemolytica, Pasteurella multocida, and Histophilus somni in beef and non-lactating dairy cattle. Administered SQ as a multiple-day therapy. Consult with your veterinarian today about Enroflox 100, the new choice.
Hi, I'm Kevin Ochsner, host of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman and Colorado Rancher. Join me each week as the National Cattlemen's Beef Association brings you the latest updates in industry information and market news. Plus, each week we provide important educational information and features on cattlemen from across the country just like you. And we can't forget our favorite cowboy poet, Baxter Black. Join me for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, debuting Tuesday nights at 8:30 Eastern, right here on RFD TV.
We've started giving our bulls a shot of multi-min 30 days ahead of our semen evaluation tests. We've seen a decrease in the amount of bulls that don't pass their semen test, and we've seen better semen evaluation scores by giving the multi-min shots. We've seen results with the product. It's just a good product to use.
This segment is brought to you by the Beef Quality Assurance Program and the Kansas Beef Council, improving animal care and beef safety for more than 20 years.
Hi there, folks. Welcome back to DocTalk. Dr. Dan Thompson here with President and CEO of Harris Vaccines, Dr. Hank Harris. And the thing that just, when we think about foreign animal diseases, and nobody wants to think about having a foreign animal disease outbreak in the United States or anywhere for that matter, but they do occur, and when we start to think about the devastation of having one of those foreign animal diseases, that what it can not only have on our food supply, but on our overall economy, the Department of Homeland Defense and different groups are spending countless hours of trying to make sure nothing like that happens. This kind of technology and the speed has to be exciting as far as another tool in our toolbox to prevent foreign animal diseases and the devastation that could occur.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, foot and mouth disease is probably the one of most concern to government officials and producers. And at Harris Vaccines, we have grant support from the Department of Homeland Security to develop vaccines for foot and mouth disease for both cattle and pigs. And the work is going on, really coming along quite well. We've got efficacy studies that have been proven for both cattle and pigs. And this is another disease in which you really need to respond quickly to a mutating virus.
Right. Kind of like what we see with some of the other ones, but this one, you don't know which strain you're going to get, and the stockpiles can be only so big and only last so long, and you're going to run out of those, and so by the time the ability to respond, this just seems like such a more logical choice.
Right. There are at least 26 different possible strains of foot and mouth that we know of, and for sure you can't have a vaccine to match all 26 of those. It'd be almost impossible to have enough vaccine prepared for that. So one thing that we've been suggesting to the government, and in which the Department of Homeland Security is supporting us on, is to actually show them how fast we can build up a big supply of vaccine to match an outbreak strain.
Well, and the other thing that we want to make sure, and I think that a lot of producers out there watching and veterinarians, is we don't want to have these massive depops.
That's right.
Of our genetics, and massive depopulations of animals if one of these outbreaks would occur, and that just makes this type of technology and the ability to do what you're doing here that much more important.
Right, and we, for sure, 25% I believe of pork products are exported from the United States, so a foreign animal disease outbreak would have really devastating effect on the economy.
Yeah, well, not just in agriculture.
Exactly, right. That's right.
When you look at the expansion and decline of our agricultural industries and what it has on the overall economy, it won't be something that just affects farmers and ranchers.
That's right.
Well, thank you a bunch for being here today.
You bet.
Thanks for all that you're doing.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's really exciting stuff and exciting technology, and it's a joy for me to be able to spend some time with you.
Yeah, good to see you, Dan.
Thanks. Thank you for joining us on DocTalk, and if you'd like to know more about the show or see us on the web, you can find us at www.doctalktv.com. Make sure that you remember that we always recommend that you work with your local practitioner. I'm Dr. Dan Thompson from Kansas State University. Thanks for joining me on DocTalk today, and I'll see you down the road. Closed caption brought to you by AgriLabs, the perfect pairing of performance and value.
For more information about this program or previous programs, go to DocTalkTV.com.